Hey, back to Emerald and Dewford Town. No, I have not dropped this LP. I don't know why people say that I was. Anyway, I have made the decision to keep the Shiny Tentacool on the team, which is unfortunately booting Clamps out, but I don't need two water types. I also went ahead and changed the items that everybody's holding. I do have logic behind this. King's Rock does have a certain list of moves it can affect, and Surf and Hidden Power, which is fire by the way, are affected by it, and it also has to be a Pokemon with high speed, and you'll have high speed after evolving. Shell Bell heals HP, and so I picked someone who has the most HP to heal with. Lax Incense is just an extra item I had left over. Focus Band prevents dying very occasionally, and Joan does have a tendency to get KO'd by fighting and ground moves. Quick Claw, because very slow. And Amulet Coin, because I didn't have any other non-type boosting moves, and I didn't want to resort to that. Anyway, the reason I'm in Dewford is because apparently, after getting the 5th badge, you just randomly get Sludge Bomb from this guy. I don't remember what he says earlier on in the game that suggests this, but I'm sure there was something. So I'm gonna go ahead and teach that. Getting rid of Acid. Supersonic isn't the greatest move because it does have low accuracy, but unfortunately Confuse Ray is a breeding-only move. And I'm not going to be keeping the name Karma, so going over to the name rater, I was not entirely sure what sort of name to go with, but since I do like the idea behind Karma, I'm just going to be changing it into something that's actually a name, Carmen. People also said that it was Irony, not Karma, and so Irene would have also worked. And although somewhat jokingly, I did like the name, like, U Jelly, like the letter U and then Jelly, or Jelly C, but, People aren't really jealous of the Tentacool, they're just kind of astonished that I caught the thing. That is, if they're not accusing me of cheating for it, but... And I don't have any way to prove that I'm not, but no, I was not. Anyway, I need the Wailmer, because, yeah, there's stuff going on in the game that I've been completely neglecting while training Carmen up. I did actually do EV training, which I almost never do, but I thought that it would be fitting for a Shiny to be trained in the best way possible, so I maxed out Special Attack, and I boosted the other attack and just Physical Attack and Defense as high as I was able to. And I also withheld Evolution so that we could actually watch the evolution on screen. Not the first Shiny I've ever used on a team, because I did have a Pidgey and a Geodude that I used in Soul Silver. But this is pretty cool. I like to have... I very rarely use my Shinies, so... You know what? Why not? It's a playthrough that lots of people get to see, and Shinies are very rare, so there we go. So, time to move on with the game. With, very, very derpy cutscene coming up. Now, I actually like this animated part here. They don't do a whole lot, they just kind of shift, and the camera pans, but it looked cool. This is the dumb part. Rah, I'm angry at you. Lurch. Lurch. Yeah, you're not accomplishing anything. Hey guys, hey, I'm over here, hey, attack me. Oh my god, I'm right here. Oh my god, okay, ignoring that. So... Oh, come on, they're not even that gigantic. The sprites could have been so much bigger. They're, like, barely bigger than I am. But... Yeah, I guess this would be a kind of a terrifying sight to behold when all of a sudden you've got huge legendaries battling it out in the middle of the city. So we're gonna have to do something about that. I do like how people are actually reacting. What? Oh, another stupid move tutor. Double Edge, I believe, is the powered-up version of Takedown, which means I should just get rid of Takedown on Joan. I'm not sure if it's a level up move. If it isn't, or if it's learned really, really late on, then I'll go ahead and teach it, since I doubt I would teach it to anything else. But, you know what? Actually, screw this. I don't need the Whalmer anymore. Switch you out. And I'm sorry that Clamps just got unceremoniously dumped into the box like that. Hopefully he'll get some usage in, like, the Battlefront here or something. Anyway, there's Steven. I'll talk to him last and see what everybody else is saying. Yeah, I guess most people probably wouldn't know what they were. Though I guess maybe you would, like, hear of them from stories or something. I don't know. Groudon is clearly losing this battle, because the sunshine doesn't last nearly as long as the rain. And then there's the fact that it's just sort of sitting on a tiny island, unable to do anything. It's like, yeah, look, there's water all around you, you're stuck here, you can't do a damn thing. Anyway, let's see what the team leaders have to say. Yeah, if they're both using the orbs, you'd think it would calm them down because they'd react to the opposite one, but, whatever. Okay, so here we go, Steven. You're gonna take me to a plot event. I'm gonna just take a nice little walk in the downpour here. Like I said, it doesn't look that horrible. It's just kind of rain. Yeah, what was that all about? Just kind of decided out of nowhere to bring that up. I don't know. And there's a giant keyhole in the side of the cliff. And so as soon as Old Man Jenkins here gets out of the way, then we can go investigate. Now, in the plots of Ruby and Sapphire, you enter this cave to stop the team of the game from capturing the legendary of the game. I haven't played Sapphire in a really long time, but I don't think that you actually find Kyogre somewhere else prior to here. But here, there's nothing here except for Wallace, who is... Yeah, something suddenly came up. That's like the Jan Brady excuse. I don't know. Juan is basically the exact same person as Wallace, so I don't get why they did it. They're not considered super... and whatever. I'll just let them keep on saying it, because there's no point in convincing them otherwise. Sure, why not? Okay, so let's give them the wrong answers. Cave of Origin. Okay. Mount Pyre. And I don't know. Luckily, there's only one other choice, so even if you don't know, you can get it right. Brendan does tell you, and people in Pacific Log kind of talk about it, but I don't know if they actually call it the Sky Pillar by name. Interesting that there are sapphires and rubies in the wall. I guess it's thematically fitting. And there should be wild Pokemon here. Yeah, there they are. Just a Zubat, so nothing too exciting to wet your pants over, but there is stuff here. So, gotta go to the Sky Pillar. And I don't think the game tells you where it is either, unless I just completely glanced over that in the text that we just read. So, time to go off this way. It is worth noting, I think I've already said this, but you never have to go down these routes towards Pacific Log in Ruby and Sapphire. You only have to go this way in Emerald, because of Rayquaza being here. It's pronounced Rayquaza, but that sounds so weird. I'm used to calling it Rayquaza, even though that's wrong. Yeah, how did you do that? It was locked? I thought that it was just totally inaccessible. Because I think the rocks in the ocean were blocking it off or something. I wonder how far the weather distortion is going. I will check. No, I won't actually. So now we have this place with a decently high-leveled Pokemon. In Ruby and Sapphire, this is the best place to train because it has the highest wild levels. In here, it's a bit gimped since you get to it earlier. And also, this place is extremely easy to get through right now, because... Okay, wait, my bad. Yeah, I think you want to just fall here. Yeah, it's extremely easy to get through. It will become more difficult the second time we come here. Which, I don't know when that will be. Okay, Claydol. Yeah, there's Claydolls here. I think Altaria and Mawile. Sableye and Mawile were version exclusives that were both in Dewford Cave, Granite Cave, whatever it's called. But then in Emerald, Mawile can only be found here. Anyway, here's a dragon that happens to be curling up here, so... It yells, and then it buggers off. And if you thought the last cutscene was amazing, just wait for this. Because here we go. Epic legendary confrontation. So yeah, it showed up, it barked at them, and they decided to go away. Now, I suppose it makes a little bit of sense, because Rayquaza's ability does block weather effects, but you'd think that they could still, like, actually do something without their weather effects. I don't know. I like to think that this was said in a very sarcastic tone. So, let's see how everybody reacts to this one. And we run into Magikarps. Why not? They flew off with the wings that they have. Okay. And then they died. I didn't know that they were going to disappear like that. Kind of odd. Anyway, I don't know what else to say in this video, really. I mean, I had to get the plot event out of the way, and I'm not going to start the gym or anything, so... Yes, it was very pretty with its bright red lipstick, and... I don't know. I think that Rayquaza is kind of cool looking, but it does have red lipstick. It's really, really dumb looking. So are you gonna let me in, or... Okay, well, here we get Waterfall. So, yeah, we have to beat the gym in order to use Waterfall. They do that in pretty much all the Pokemon games, starting with, I guess, Ruby and Sapphire. It's kind of weird how, like, Waterfall is the ultimate move when it really is very situational. So, just go through the usual rigmarole of talk to everybody in the town and see if they give me any free stuff. Which they probably will not. But yeah, this city is kind of an interesting idea that it's in the middle of a crater. It's kind of like Mother-Child Isle from Wind Waker, except not really at all, because that wasn't a city, it was just a thing. What connection? Now, if you want a connection, that would be Route 18 in black and white, connecting to the Desert Resort. Mark my words, there's going to be a connection between them in black and white, too. Wait, what am I asking here? Huh? Oh, fans, whatever. I have about, little less than 13,000 fans, though I have to say most of them are probably people who don't actually watch my videos anymore, because I do not get that many views, but that's beside the point. Okay, Brick Break, that's a good move. Who can learn it? I figured as much. I am going to very strongly consider getting rid of Rock Tomb. Even though Rock Tomb does have stab, it's a really crappy move, so I'll probably teach that next video if I don't come up with some reason to avoid doing it. I can't really see why I wouldn't. Fighting is a good type to have. So anyway, I don't know if this guy's ever going to move out of the way. These people aren't going to move out of the way. So I guess that's about it for this episode. At this point in the game, you can go back to the Sky Pillar and try to catch Rayquaza, and I'm not going to use it, but, you know, I might do that next segment. But there are certain other legendaries that are also accessible at this point, which I plan on doing next segment. So, we'll just see what happens. Next time... I always end with next time stuff, but you know what? Next time stuff.